Hello friends, we are studying the different types of life processes. In this series, we are discussing the transportation or transport system in living organism. There are three important components of transport system. They are the pumping organ heart, the medium that transport the material that we call blood and lymph, and the blood vessels. We have discussed blood as well as heart, the structure and its functioning. Now in this video we are going to learn the blood vessels, the tubes that are spread all over the body in case of human being. And these blood vessels we are going to discuss. They are artery, vein and capillaries. In this picture deliberately which I have chosen to explain you the structural similarities as well as differences between them. Here you can see it's an artery which is usually being shown conventionally by red color, and it is vein which is shown by blue color. But don't get a misconception that the blood in the vein is of blue color. It is only for the international understanding that we show veins with the help of the blue color. If you talk about artery, what is artery? Artery is a blood vessel that carries blood from heart to the body. Okay, so away from the heart. This is the most important definition or characteristic feature we have to understand. From heart to the body. Then what is vein? Vein is a blood vessel that carries blood from overall body to the heart. This is very important aspect we have to remember. Regarding structural aspect, you can see that the wall of this artery is made up of three layers. The outermost layer is tunica adventitia. The middle from here to here it is tunica media. Why it is called media? Because it is middle. And then internal single layer, this is we called as tunica intima. The most important feature of artery is this particular middle layer. It is very thick. It is muscular, made up of the muscles, circular muscles, and therefore the wall is thick. If you see the wall of vein, the outer adventitia, middle, media and inner intima, here also three layers are there, but the middle layer is not that much thick. It is thin. And because of that, in case of artery, you can see the lumen is narrower as compared to the lumen in vein. Okay. Then because of this muscular middle wall, the artery become elastic. And because the lumen is narrower, it is an efficient blood vessel that carries blood under very high pressure. Because of its elasticity, it can withstand high pressure, and because of the lumen, the blood can be transported under high pressure. The important feature here to notice here in case of vein is that in vein, these types of walls are present at certain intervals. And these walls prevent the backflow of blood. Why? Because in vein, blood passes under low pressure comparatively. Okay, so this is the important aspect of the vein and arteries that we have to understand. In the next slide, we will talk about capillaries. Here, you have to focus on capillaries. Okay, friends. So, what is capillary and how it works, we will see in much more detail. But here it is capillaries, and here arteries, veins and capillaries, these are the three blood vessels, and in terms of certain characters we are having this comparative statement or a comparative table. Now let us talk one after other. Basically capillaries are very fine single layer thick blood vessels that are originated from, of course, the arteries, then artery divided into arterioles, the smaller one, and then arteriole further divided into very thin hair like very fine arteries which passes through the cells and tissues. They are distributing the material, and similarly the arteries that are collecting the waste material from the cells and blood and all other tissues, they are getting collected, they get fused to form venules, and vein form the major vein. So this is the way that network of the artery, vein and capillaries is there. If we talk about function, arteries send blood from heart to the other part, veins send blood to the heart, and actually capillaries, because they are present surrounding the cells and tissues, they are involved particularly in material exchange. Yes, through this wall of the capillary, the material get diffuse out. Okay, the nutrient, the oxygen, it is given to the cell, and carbon dioxide from the cell, the waste material from the cell is once again collected. So very thin wall of capillaries, they are doing that. Regarding pressure, in artery it is very high. The highest pressure is being noticed in the arteries, where it is low in case of veins and it is low in case of capillaries. If we talk about lumen, the internal lumen, as I shown you earlier slide, it is narrow in case of artery, and therefore the blood is transported at very high pressure, while the diameter or the lumen is very wide. And in case of artery, it is extremely narrow because the wall is just made up of one cell in thickness. We call it as endothelium. Okay, single wall, and therefore it's very very thin. If you talk about the wall thickness, arteries having very thick wall, the veins are having thin wall, and the wall of the capillary is just made up of single cell in thickness, so it's extremely thin and it's very permeable. There are three wall layers in case of arteries, that the tunica adventitia, tunica media and tunica intima. Similar layers are there, but the most important feature is that the tunica media is very thick in case of arteries as compared to the veins, while there is only one layer that is called as tunica intima, like inner layer. Okay, then if you talk about elasticity, it is of large amount. Arteries are highly elastic, and therefore the blood which is under the pressure be conducted properly. Then elasticity is little less in case of vein, and there is no elasticity in capillaries. If we talk about if you go for one more important feature regarding that, the valves, that there is no valve in artery while there is a valve in veins, and there is no valve in capillaries. So these are very important structural features of this all blood vessel that we have to talk about. Okay, so if we sum up and revive once again the things, that human circulatory system consisting of three types of blood vessel: arteries, veins and capillaries. Arteries are the vessel which carry blood away from the heart to the various organs of our body. Since the blood emerges from the heart under very high pressure, the arteries have thick wall, elastic wall, and it has to be distributed to the longer distances, and their lumen is narrow. Okay. Arteries are deeply situated inside the body as compared to the vein. Veins are superficial. Arteries have no valves inside, they are highly elastic, and lumen is narrow. If we talk about the veins collect the blood from different organs of our body and bring back to the heart. They do not need thick walls because the blood is no longer under the pressure in veins. But the most important feature is that they have valves. Okay, they have valves, yes, and they ensure that blood flow only in one direction. The reverse flow is not necessarily be happen there. Okay, then veins are superficial, they are less elastic, and then their lumen is broader. Now this is one more important aspect we have to understand here regarding the capillaries. Here you can see this is a artery, and the arteries are giving many branches, narrower branches, they are called as arterioles, and then arterioles are then divided into very narrow hair like single cell in thickness capillaries. These are called as distributing capillaries. These distributing capillary, they are covering, here you can understand, here there may be cells and tissues. Okay, they are supplying material to the cell and tissue, and water may be the substances that are produced in the cells and tissues that they are said to be the toxic waste material. They are then taken by these arteries back to the venules, and venules combine to form a major vein that carries blood to the heart. So this is very important to understand that capillaries, on reaching an organ or a tissue, the arteries divide into smaller and smaller vessels. They are called arterioles to bring blood in contact with all individual cells. The smallest vessels have wall which are one cell thickness. They are called as capillaries. Yeah. Then exchange of material between the blood and surrounding cell takes place across the thin wall of capillaries. So in fact these are the capillaries which are actually responsible for transport of material. Try to understand, friends, in human being The circulatory system is said to be closed circulatory system. The blood flows within a closed network of these blood vessels. Okay, and therefore the material which are being transported with the help of blood and lymph, it has to be given to the cells and tissue through the walls of capillaries by the process of diffusion. The capillaries then join together to form venules. Venule joins to form veins, and then veins carry the blood to the heart. One more interesting feature we are going to discuss is that what happens when an injury occurs and blood flows from the body. Yes, we have seen the function of RBC, we have seen the function of WBC 9 standard. Now you have to understand what happens when some injury occurs. Think about the situation when we are injured and start bleeding. Naturally, the loss of blood from the system has to be minimized, otherwise there is a chance of death. In addition, leakage would lead to a loss of pressure. Yes. So that would reduce the efficiency of the pumping system, and therefore we don't have to let the blood flows for a longer period of time. To avoid this, the blood has another type of cell that we call as platelets, which circulates around the body and plug these legs by helping to clot the blood and at that particular point of injury and stop the or prevent the blood to flow out. That's what. This is the diagram where we can see the process when injury or rupture occurs to the blood vessel. Okay, as a result, blood vessels around the wound constrict. Constriction takes place so that the blood flows lower down or reduced. As a result, blood flow is reduced in the damaged area. Then it activates the platelets to stick to injury site. Yes, so many platelet they get stick to that particular area. Then platelets become sticky and clump together to form platelet plug. Then platelets and damaged tissue release clotting factor that we call factor 9 or factor 8. And these factor 8 and blood clotting factors brings about a mechanism to form the fibrin. They are the fiber-like structure which acts like mesh to stop the bleeding. So this is the process that we have to understand. Whenever we get any injury, this process occur there. It's very important to understand this mechanism. However, it's a very complex mechanism, but at least these 4 or 5 steps we have to remember how the platelets play important role in it. Okay. Then there is another important connective tissue present in our circulatory system that we call lymph. Now, what is lymph? The lymph, through the pores of the capillaries, some amount of plasma, proteins and the blood cell, but not RBC here. These blood cell include particularly WBC. Okay, they escape into the intercellular spaces. Try to understand. So these are the capillaries. They are present in between the cells and tissues. Through these capillaries, the plasma oozes out. Along with the plasma proteins, the blood cell like WBC, they all escape and they spread in intercellular spaces, and this tissue fluid is called as lymph. Okay, it is similar to the plasma of the blood, but it is colorless because it is having no RBC in it, and comparatively it is having less protein also. Lymph drains into lymphatic capillaries. Now what happens when the lymph is present in cells, in between the cell that we call intercellular spaces? It goes back into the specific capillaries. They are having open ends, and in this open end capillary they are called as lymphatic capillaries. Once again the same similar system is there. So this is lymphatic capillary that is draining or collecting the lymph present between the tissues, and then it goes to meet a common that we call as lymphatic vessel. Okay, so in this way lymphatic vessel is spreading or carrying this lymph back in our body, and this lymphatic vessel goes through lymphatic nodes, lymphatic organs, and at certain point it unites with our vein, and this all lymph is drained into the venous system, and it enters into our circulatory system. So from capillaries, the plasma, protein and WBC ooze out in between the cells. That's why it is called as interstitial fluid, okay, or it is called as intercellular spaces fluid. And this lymph is then once again get drained out or collected with the help of lymphatic capillaries. and lymphatic capillaries unite to form lymphatic vessels, and these lymphatic vessels unites here at our venous system and carry back that. So what is the function of this lymph? That is another important feature, friends, we have to understand. The major function of the lymph we have to understand here: carries digested and absorbed fat. Yes, in our digestive system particularly, the fat is absorbed in small intestine, and the villi, there are very specific vessels. These vessels are selectively collecting fat and absorbing fat. So this fat from intestine and drain excess of fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. This is the most important function. What is the function of lymph? That digested and absorbed fat from intestine and to supply it to the cells and all the tissues, and from the tissues the excess of fluid is drained back from the cells to once again the blood. Lymph passes through various lymphatic nodes and organ. Yes, here I have tried to show you the diagram. All this green color network, it is a network of lymphatic vessels. And when these lymphatic vessels from all over the body, here it is shown lymphatic node. Node is a kind of a special organization where this lymphatic vessel carries the lymph from different side, and inside this lymphatic node you can see there is a system by which these lymphatic nodes are filtering and trapping and killing the bacteria. Okay, so lymph is actually also meant for capturing all the foreign material like bacteria that they may be causing to us a disease or so, and in the lymphatic node they are captured and they are destroyed there. Okay, so this is another important feature, and therefore we say that the lymph is responsible for providing us immunity, okay, resistance to fight against the diseases. The lymph also transport white blood cells to and from the lymph nodes into the bones. Yes, and as you know that the WBC are particularly responsible for giving us immunity by engulfing the foreign material and various roles. So lymphocytes also producing antibodies and so many other things. So lymph is especially also meant for, along with the transportation of material, providing us immunity system. Lymphatic system helps our immune system of our body. That's it. So this is the diagram where you have to understand here thymus is another important part related with the lymphatic system. These are the lymphatic nodes. Okay, tonsil. Okay, this is also a lymphatic gland. There are certain lymphatic ducts, and all this duct system is there in our body. At certain intervals there are, on the left hand side especially of our body, there are more and more lymphatic nodes. Actually they are acting as a filtering unit, and thereby the filtration of the bacteria and something occurs there. So this is very important aspect, friends. We have to understand the concept of lymph. So what is lymph? It is a plasma plus protein plus WBC without RBC. It is drained out, diffuse out of the capillaries, get collected into the intercellular spaces. It provides food and nutrients. When it drain back into the capillary system, once again they are transported back through the lymph vessels. They are called lymph vessels, and there is a lymphatic system you can see in our body like venous system and arterial system. There is a lymphatic system which drain back the lymph, and it goes to at certain interval. Here you can see it goes to the venous system. It is poured back, the lymph is poured back into the venous system in our body. But along with its flow, when it passes through various lymphatic node, it filter the blood, capture the bacteria and kill it. Okay, so this is the most important aspect. Along with the transport, the lymph also giving us immunity. That's it. So if you like this video, please subscribe. This is Dr. Sunil Modak. This is my channel. If you subscribe it, you will get more and more information about my new videos. And if you like it, you please say like. With this, I would like to say thank you very much. Next time we will talk about transportation of plant. Till then, I say goodbye. Thank you.